Hey guys, and welcome back to the Interceptor. So we're here with Alliance War Season 25. This is War 12. This is the culmination of the season. And we just do not really care about this war, to be honest. I did plan this war. It took me like an hour and 20 minutes, so definitely less time than the average war takes to plan. But yeah, they have a Mojo boss, so I sent Floatin' with Torch for that. But we are against ISO8A, who is a top level alliance. Both of us are safely within Masters, as in we could lose these wars horribly and still guarantee Masters. But neither of us are high enough up that a win would give us a shot at top 3. So we just didn't really care that much. And we have the team of Quake, Warlock, and White Magneto for the third war in a row. So it's not really that common that I bring the same attackers even twice in a row. But this time we actually are doing it 3 times. So yeah, this is a Longshot on Path 5, Section 1. And normally, you'd just be able to land a heavy attack during concussion, and you would turn off the ebb and flow knockdown protection. However, Longshot has increased ability accuracy reduction, so when you knock him down, you would just give him you would get a Fury on you as Quake, and then the protection would come back. So I know I could have just thrown a heavy and had a few cycles with big damage, but I just didn't want to really worry about that, so I just Quaked him away. I knew there was no risk of timing out. Should be somewhere around a 3 to 3.5 minute fight. And this is a nice fight, but right at the end, I think I take a full hit combo, a full 5-hit combo. I think he's at like 5%, so I could have gone out of this fight perfectly, but I just had to take a few hits at the end, of course. That's the way I seem to do fights in Alliance War. I guess it was just the one hit. But yeah, we're down to 92%, so I don't even think I'm going to heal that up until Section 3. So yeah, there you go. You see, I knocked him down there, and I got the Fury instead of the protection going away. But yeah, this is actually going to be a pretty good war. We have 11 fights this war, which is pretty good. And next up on Path 5, we have this rank 3 6-star Nova. And I'm fairly certain that every single defender we're going to face today, except for one champion who is not available as a 6-star, I think everyone we fight today is a rank 3 6-star. So that's pretty good. But yeah, this is a very easy fight. You just got to knock him down once, and now you can just Quake him. And it's a normal Quake fight. Really nothing to it. This fight only takes about 1 minute and 10 seconds, so I didn't speed it up at all. But I think there's only 2 Quake fights the whole war that take such short time. I think the rest of them are at least over 2 minutes. I think I have like 4 more or 5 more. Let me think. After this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Quake fights. So I have 7 this war, and then that must mean 4 Warlock fights. 4 Warlock fights. But yeah, very, very easy fight. I think he goes down in the cycle after this one. Yeah, okay. So Nova's just really, really easy to Quake. Looks like I did let off a heavy or something. That would explain why we have so much power. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention too much there. I don't think I got clipped in that fight. Yeah, I did. I let off a heavy. I just didn't notice it while I'm recording this. But next up, we have a rank 3 6-star Thor Ragnarok, and this is on heavy hitter power alternator. This is a easy Quake fight, but it's just gonna take a little bit of time. You guys have seen me Quake a rank 3 6-star Thor Ragnarok on node 54, the mini boss, and that fight took around 3 minutes. So he's a very easy champion to Quake, and there's really nothing to it. So yeah, he's going down. This one's gonna take a little while because of class disadvantage, but there's really nothing to it. I'm pretty sure this is a perfect Quake fight, and I don't even bother to heal because I know there's no risk of dying. I would probably take about 15 hits here. Maybe not 15. It would probably take me at least 10 hits I'd have to eat before I got pushed into Assassins. So yeah, there's just zero risk here. And they're a minute 20 into the fight. He goes below half health. So this will be about a 2.5 minute fight. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of Quake fights. I think the next 3 fights after this even are all Quake fights. So there's not really anything that I can say for them. I sped them up because I knew they were super long. But yeah, just have to sit here in silence while they play. I've been watching Bryn from Four Loki. I've been watching his war videos, and what he does is he just explains the fight, and then he skips to like the last 10 seconds of the fight. And I just don't like doing that. I feel like you should show the whole fight because maybe you make a mistake or something. And I think he actually does show it when he gets hit, when he makes mistakes quaking. But either way, I just prefer to show the long fights. Like one war earlier this season, I had a fight that took 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I had 15 seconds left when I killed him. I almost timed out using Quake, and I showed the whole fight. So, yeah, now we have a rank 3 Manthing on Power Snack, and my strategy here, after quaking him on Buffet last war, double decks is actually not the way you want to go against Manthing because you get the Postule on yourself. What I want to do here, and what I actually managed to do, is I use a White Magneto prefed on this fight, and then up until the first Quake cycle ended, whenever I got trapped in the corner, I would just parry, and I think only had parry like once or twice. And then on the next one, I actually got my decks during concussion, which turns off Power Snack, so by the end of this fight, we're both going to be at 0 power. There's never any reason to activate Power Snack. Yeah, man, it's just a really, really straightforward fight. So, class disadvantage, although Manthing does have a pretty good amount of physical resistance, which makes him just a little longer to quake. It's still a class advantage, so you still do a good amount of damage. So like 7,500 per tick is pretty good. Oh, wow. I don't remember taking hits in this fight. Okay. I guess I do. But yeah. I take 4 hits in... Wow. Wow, I can't believe I didn't remember that. This was like maybe 20 hours ago at this point, but yeah. Really easy. I guess it takes around 2.5 minutes, and the Manthing is going to die after that cycle. So there we go, and now we'll go into our next fight, which is going to be a rank 3 Kingpin on Mixmaster, and this one I sped up 100%. So like I doubled the speed. We're using a white mags on this too. That's the one potion we use. I think that's the one potion we use all war. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is. And I actually don't end up needing it because I don't get hit the rest of my quick fights, I'm fairly certain. But yeah, it's a good thing to use it just to heal to about 90, just to be super, super safe. And Kingpin, this Kingpin actually placed without willpower. Now, there were a few defenders, a few people we were worried about not placing with willpower. And this guy was not one of them. When we take a look at his defenders, I think this guy had like 2 robots, 2 mystics, and then like a cosmic. And it was just the weirdest combination of champions on a defense. Ones that just didn't warrant the removal of willpower, because there is no world where, like, there's just no possible world where anyone would fight any of these guys' defenders with Warlock. It just does not make any sense. But I guess it did make the Quake fight a little faster, so I do appreciate it. And that Kingpin goes down. Now we'll go into section 2, and first up on the EMP modification, Burden of Might, we have a rank 3 Invisible Woman. This is a very, very easy Quake fight. I'm just going to take this one fight during these boosts because I want my... so my 6-hour boosts were for section 1 and then my 4 mini-boss fights. And then in section 2... and the boss island, where you have 5 fights total between those two, and we're just going to use one set of boosts and reach all of our fights there. Now, Invisible Woman, she can take a little bit to Quake, a little bit of time to Quake. Oh, wow, I don't have my notifications off. Sorry about that. Just because the shield she has, the force field, it just eats up a lot of your quaking damage. But we're actually going to prevent it from coming back. Not there, but there is at one point in the fight where we do that. But the thing is, Invisible Woman just has her physical resistance is so incredibly low that even with that, there's just no risk of a timeout. It's actually similar to the way that Thing's protection works. And if Invisible Woman, for example, were placed on node 25, you wouldn't be able to prevent her shield from coming back. So her force field. So you'd always have just that one cycle where you do a lot less damage, which is very similar to the way that Quake that Quake works against Thing on that node, because there's no way to prevent his protection when you stun him. So sometimes your whole Quake cycle is going to do about 2% of his health, whereas for the rest of the fight, it would be doing like 7-8% of his health. So now we are on to our last section, our last boosting session, and this is going to be a rank 3 6-star Iron Man Infinity War on the Vigor node. So once again, we are on path 1, section 2. It just made sense for a Warlock to go here this war, and the guy I normally have using Warlock on path 1, which is Tildo, he was needed somewhere else, or rather, his champions were a better fit for someone else. He could have brought Warlock and done this path, but it made more sense for me to do it with my other fights. And yeah, we're gonna just take this fight down easily. This is Jan and Jay. This is a guy that used to be in D69. He no longer is. It's a different account though. He was always in ISO8A with this account, but there was a point where he was in D69 with his other account, which is called Joker. But yeah, he has moved on. I don't remember if we kicked him or if he left. I honestly don't. But yeah, it's cool to fight him. So now we are going into the next one, and this Doc J 2.0, he actually was the one that placed the Longshot that I quaked in section 1, my first fight. So I know this person has willpower. If they didn't have willpower, I just would have used Quake for this fight. But because they have willpower, Warlock is the better option. So we're just going to land our parries at the start of the fight. We're throwing on a regen boost for this and the next fight, and it's actually going to heal us up a decent amount. And now we're able to use our heavy attacks, of course. He does have his permanent poison debuffs, which means that I don't actually have to be throwing these heavy attacks, but it is the best way to get damage done while not triggering his poisons as much, because every 10 times that you hit Abomination, or Immortal Abomination rather, he's going to put a poison debuff on himself. So right here, this is the 10th hit, so I'm going to degenerate because of Lionheart, which is what makes him such an incredible defender on this node. But just the discovery that you can Quake him if he doesn't have willpower and use Warlock if you do have willpower has pretty much made him a irrelevant champion to place on this node. So I think a better placement for him, I think the best placement for Abomination is Path 8, Section 2, the first node, and then the second best is the second node of Path 5, Section 2. But now we will go into Hyperion, and this is the fight I was most scared about. This guy placed without willpower, and we're using Warlock here. But it turns out that that was not something I had to worry about, because this guy is going to be the nicest AI I have ever seen on Alliance War defense, and he's just going to throw his specials like it's nothing. He does nothing but spam specials this whole fight, and it is absolutely beautiful to see Hyperion's doing this on defense. Because normally, he's a champion that's known for gaining a lot of power and not throwing specials, so it's actually really good. Right there, just had to get it out of him. Right there, probably should have countered with a heavy attack, but it's not that big a deal. And right there, my heavy attack was late, but luckily he dashed back, so I had nothing to worry about. But this fight actually goes really, really nicely. He's about half done. Right there again, I should have countered his special 2 with a heavy attack. I'm just not incredibly used to the matchup, so I had not practiced that prior, but watching it back now, it makes so much sense that that's what I should have done. But yeah, obviously this node has the power suppression, it's called, so I never actually get to use any specials of my own, but I do have the big tech boosts on right now, which are going to come in clutch for my next Warlock fight. So that fight goes down. It was actually a really clean fight, so yeah. Let's go into my second last fight of the season, which is going to be a rank 3 6-star Mysterio on Power Focus 1, Hurt Locker, and SP1 Bias, right. I was trying to think of that third node. I think it's SP1 Bias. But yeah, this is a very easy, quick fight. Mysterio is actually decently common to see on this node, but as far as I know, everyone just Quakes it. It's an incredibly easy Quake fight. Mysterio is actually easier to Quake than all other champions. Not all other champions, but the average champion, just because he doesn't get the concussion on himself, so he will not heal from the willpower. So it just cuts the fight down. Probably only makes a difference throughout the fight of about 2% of his health, but even that just makes it a little faster. But yeah, we're up to 96% health. I don't think we've healed since the end of the like Thor Rags. No, Manthing. I don't think we've healed since Manthing. Although we might have thrown in one potion that I'm just forgetting about. But yeah, maybe 2 potions at maximum that I use this for. So Mysterio is about to go down in just under or just under 2 minutes, which is pretty fast for a Quake fight. But I am extremely boosted here. I have 30% green boost attack and health. I have 15% attack, 20% health, actually, not just the 15. I had 120% boost. And then I have the 200% tech boost. I have the 33% special 3 defense boost. I have the 12% tech boost, and then for this fight I throw on my last invulnerability boost for my last fight of the season. And this is a Havok on the enhanced power gain node, and this guy Jasko, he's the same guy that had Hyperion placed. So from someone that checked his, I believe it was his sorcerer, no, it was his Tigra, right, in section 1, from someone that checked that fight. I knew he did not have willpower. And this fight I'm going to play, oh my god, pretty nicely. So I throw off an L2 there, and my power boost get me back to 1 L1, and then I just have to eat this special attack. But I do have my invulnerability on for just this reason. Now, with the amount of plasmas myself and him had, this special 3 would not have killed me if I didn't use invulnerability. I probably would have been around, if I had to guess, 65%. It probably takes off maybe a third of my health at most, with the class disadvantage. But it is just nice to have that safety, that I could tank several special 3s if it happened like that. But we used 1 L2, it got us back to another. We parried, went in for another L2, and that guy's dead. And that concludes our season. That's actually the last fight of season 25 that I'm going to take. Tildo went in and sold that Dragon Man. Very nice work. We did lose to ISO8A, but it genuinely makes not even the slightest difference to us. We did not care. A lot of us didn't boost. 11 is alarmingly high for our alliance for deaths. BG1, 5 deaths. BG2, 4 deaths. And BG3, 2 deaths. 2 or 3, I don't remember. Wait, 11, 5, 4, 2. Okay. But yeah, there was a little glitch with the rewards that got sent out, so you guys just see me messing around with it. I'm not able to claim them right away. Eventually I just give up. But this does give me a chance to talk about my stats this season. So as an alliance, D69 went 6-6. So that's enough to make Masters if you're in Tier 1 for almost all the wars. And we were in Tier 1 for 11 out of 12 of the wars this season. But yeah, we're currently sitting in 16th in Masters, and this is hours after war ended. So this is the final leaderboard. That is where we are going to end. So we did make Masters this season. We have 1 death total against that Void on the Intercept mini, which I still can't believe I died to. But to be fair, I messed up the fight pretty badly. I deserved to die using Falcon. PSR, this is my best season by far. So last season, my stats were 1 and 111, but this season we've one-upped ourselves and we've gone 1 and 120, which means that over 12 wars, we took an average of 10 fights per war for a total of 120 fights, only dying in 1 of them. Also, we actually have a pretty good head start on the Deathless streak going into next season. We are all the way up to 52 already after just having died 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, which means we died at the end of War 7, almost the end. Like, I think it was my second or third last fight in that war. But yeah, we are halfway to my 100 goal that I want to reach at some point. Of course, I would also love to have a Deathless season whenever it comes. It'll come. I mean, having 2 seasons in a row only died once, I must inevitably, eventually, get a Deathless season. But yeah, that is going to be it for this season. Hope you guys enjoyed, and probably about, I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 24 hours from now, or from when you guys are seeing this video, you will see my video of the season reward opening, which will probably only have 1 featured 6-star, and I'll explain why in the video. But yeah, hopefully we can get someone good from that. That is going to be it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.